All right, traders, what's up? This is a watch list video for Tuesday, September 3rd. Start off with the SPY, gapped up to the top of a range, which I pointed out on Friday morning that it was gapping up to the top of the range. And I said if I was a SPY trader, my bias would be to the downside, right? Because it's come a long way to get to the top of a range. And, you know, that would have played out well. I'm not a SPY trader, though. Some nice trades in chat. Whoops, I meant to type in the room there. ELTK, third time's a charm, had a big move on Friday. For those of you that were around in the afternoon, as this thing started to come down here and hit somewhere around 520, I typed in chat looking for a whole number flush. In other words, being a bidder below 5. Look what happens. It goes down to 490 and then ends up ripping all the way up to 650. And that's pretty much straight out of our free webinar on how we buy pullbacks. Goes into a lot more detail in our course, but that was a beautiful grab for anybody who got that. And the beauty of these are, if you miss the initial pop, at no point should you feel compelled to chase, right? You start looking for where can I bid, and if they don't get to your bid, they don't get to your bid. You don't get involved, but that's a beautiful grab right there. And it goes back on watch for Monday because it had such a powerful move. Now, it's certainly extended, but we'll see. Hopefully, we get another trade or two out of ELTK, at least in the upcoming week. SEAC gapped up, popped a little bit, and then sold off, and then ended up closing after all day about where it opened on 1.4 million shares. I do want to watch that one. I'm not in love with it, but the gap, and it held up fairly well. It is interesting. FSLY had that nasty sell-off on Thursday. Now, Friday, it's almost kind of heading right back up. So that is a strong stock. I want to keep my eyes on that one. SONO. It had issues with the $14 area back here, and then it came up and kind of pierced it and then flagged. So you sort of have a loosely based, sort of ugly cup and handle, and now it's trying to break out to the upside. So again, remember, I'm a day trader, so I am only going to get involved. I'm fully aware that this one's already made a decent move for this stock, but sometimes you get a nice second day play, and certainly going to be watching it all week. It's got room to run, and for what it's worth, not that as a day trader should matter, but I own their product and I really like it. RKDA, just a recently in play stock, made a crazy move back here and had some nice wide range days. Friday, closing about where it opened, it did the same thing on Thursday, so I don't see any kind of really compelling pattern here, but what I do like to look at is 15-minute candles and say, you know what, on Thursday, put in its high in the opening 15 minutes, same thing on Friday. So what I would like to see would be an afternoon, like, sideways move and then an afternoon break on Tuesday out of its range. You might get a little afternoon squeeze. So there's nothing too compelling about the chart now. It's starting to see the volume tapering off. It's starting to feel like people are forgetting about this one. So, it might be in that phase of its action, but I'll have it on a chart nonetheless. PSTV made this insane move from like $8 over the course of 3 or so sessions all the way to almost 23. Then you had the nasty red day and then another red day, declining volume. Certainly going to watch this one for a narrow range break to the upside in the afternoon. That's my favorite scenario. There are other possible scenarios too to play something as a bounce play. So want to watch that one. FFHL. This one's almost round tripped this big move, right? It's almost back down, but not when you look at where it started from, which was below 2. So it went to almost 750 and now is settling in slightly below 4 on Friday. It did finally get below the 8-day moving average, got into that area that we call the buy zone between the 8 and the 20 and kind of found equilibrium. So I do think that's worth watching on on Tuesday for a potential move higher. JKS, if I'm going to draw kind of a trend line with my mouse here, you kind of see that trend line. It certainly broke above that on decent volume on Friday. Maybe a continuation day. That was on earnings. GLBS, I'm starting to see what might be, and somebody in chat posted on Friday, is it called the Baltic Dry Index, I think, is at like recent highs. And so I'm starting to see early stages of a possible shipper theme develop. And you guys who have traded any length of time, you know what I mean when I say a shipper theme. Sometimes there's a Bitcoin stock related theme. Sometimes there's a Chinese stock related theme. And then sometimes the shippers go crazy and so on. I am starting to see hints of a possible shipper theme developing. So GLBS had this spike, I don't know, 7 or 8 days ago that topped out at 255, came back down, and is starting to curl back up. Friday's high 238. TOPS, a recent reverse split, had big volume 3 sessions ago, topped out at 825, and then a couple quiet days. Oh man, there were a couple others that I feel like were starting to curl up. Can't remember if it was DCIX. I don't know. Anyway, EGLE maybe. I don't know. So I'm going to keep an eye on the shippers with GLBS and TOPS being kind of my top 2 potentials. All right. BBBY had this really nice pop. A lot of shorts in the name. Topped out at 974, it looks like. And then 973. So this was Thursday's high 974, Friday's high 973. If I go to 15-minute candles, there's the big day Thursday, and now it's forming a flag. So that one's kind of interesting over the 2-day high. Also worth noting, it is certainly still extended from the moving averages. But with a lot of shorts in that name, we're going to keep our eyes on that one. And then lastly, NTEC broke out of this island. See this big island down here? Broke out of it on big volume. This would have been, let's see, Wednesday, then a quiet inside day on Thursday, and I think another one on Friday. Yeah, there's your, so it's coiling, right? It's very coiled. It could just as easily break the coil to the downside, but I certainly think it's interesting if it gets a break out of the coil to the upside. Maybe 76-cent area on some volume. It might be enough to rip it right back through 82, and who knows, maybe test a buck, right? So that's it. Enjoy the rest of your Labor Day. It looks like I will be working on Tuesday. Earlier last week, I thought I might be without electricity and without internet, but hopefully that hurricane stays off the coast and Floridians all stay safe, right? So I will see everybody in chat on Tuesday, hopefully, and enjoy the rest of your day.